welcome back for one, but that was a little bit intense. It started off innocent enough. Someone was in prison and he decided that he wanted his girlfriend to visit. So she parked her little car outside, walked in, but she had something, a little secret in her mouth. And so when she leaned in for a kiss, the guard said, you know what? Today I'm gonna be a little bit nice. Go ahead and kiss each other. Leaned in for the kiss, they kissed each other, everything seemed fine, but there was something else in that kiss. It wasn't tongue, it was a balloon. That balloon was full of crystal meth, which is a very, very dangerous drug, very highly addictive, terrible drug, and it was full of that stuff. He was supposed to take that contraband, either swallow it or keep it in his mouth, and then presumably use or sell it in the prison when he got back. However, that's not what happened. Somewhere in the digestive tract, that balloon broke open. Obviously, the symptoms hit pretty quickly, and that it being that much meth in the system, they were unable to keep him alive, and he unfortunately passed away. Now, the girlfriend is also being charged with murder. It might be kind of a stretch, but it could be a second degree or third degree. I can't remember which one it is. But yeah, the involuntary manslaughter. So it could be a murder charge still. It's still pending investigation and pending the trial. But she is being charged, and it might have ruined her life forever. On the other hand,
so grim.
Yeah, it's
she
grim.
accidentally killed her boyfriend, and now she's got to go to prison for it. Like, oh no.
Yeah, it's a bad situation in all ways, and this has decried some people to say that they want people to stop having all physical contact in prisons, and obviously that's not the answer either. But people want something done, and so they're thinking of ways to kind of lower that contraband that is being passed around in prisons, even to this day.
Yes. Terrible situation. He tried to outsmart the guards and failed. He killed himself.
Yeah, and it would have worked, but if it wasn't for that meddling balloon.
Yes, if it just been slightly better quality, or if she'd spent just extra $1 for the more expensive version.
Double bagged it, double ballooned it.
Double ballooned it.
What is the purpose of prison? Punishment or rehabilitation?
I've got to say rehabilitation. I'm a bit perhaps naive in my hopes for it, but I think we've got to try. We've got a responsibility to try and help people, because I think criminal behavior doesn't always just come from some innate kind of evil. I'm not really a believer in evil at all. So I think there's hope for everyone. We can be better. We can learn beyond the often a very abusive behaviors and childhoods that many criminals grew up with. So I think we've got to try.
I mean, I'm in full agreement. It should be restorative. It should be rehabilitative. But there are certain circumstances where my morals might break down on that, or my conviction, I should say, might break down. One of them is with sexual crimes, especially against women and children. But of any case, it's hard for me to want a restorative justice for that person rather than one meant for punishment. So yeah, I do get a little wishy-washy on those points, but overall I completely agree. We should try to rehabilitate, and if they are not rehabilitable, what would that be?
Rehabilitable.
That's the one, rehabilitable. You know what? Just pass it over to the British person to pronounce things correctly. Americans, I'm sorry, we just don't do well with that camp all the time. Rehabilitative.
Gonna gatekeep the pronunciation section of this lesson.
Right. And if they're not able to be rehabilitated, then just keep them in prison until they are.
Well, I remember a while ago I was telling you, I have a friend who is a criminal psychologist, and she works in a prison, and she works with the sex offenders. And so she works in Canada. So they are taking the idea that maybe everyone is rehabilitable, so they give therapy to these guys. But she is, I think, not seeing that much success with it. That even with the best research and the best sort of mental health professionals working with these people, the majority cannot change. A lot of them cannot be rehabilitated, no matter how hard she tries. So
keep them in there, then.
Yeah,
period. Yeah, any sexual crime should be either rehabilitated or sequestered away until to make sure that problem doesn't arise from that person ever again. You know, take the opportunity away until the opportunity is no longer important.
Well, yeah, if you are a genuine danger to society, you need to be separated from society.
How are your country's prisons, though? Are they pretty open for this contraband?
I've watched a few documentaries, and it seems, yes, it's a constant struggle. You know, the guards trying to outsmart the prisoners trying to outsmart the guards, new rules, new procedures, but a lot of them are really clever. And they, you know, you set someone a system, and these guys have got a lot of time on their hands. You know, they're just sitting there, and they've got nothing else to do apart from figure out how to beat the system. So eventually they do.
Eventually they're going to. Yeah, absolutely. Same with America, too. They're always finding a way. Even with those max security prisons, or super maxes, as they're called sometimes, there's still ways to outsmart and outgun and outpace.
Well, yeah, we've even had some really exciting cases, I suppose more historical, of prison breaks, which are kind of hilarious and awesome. And I remember seeing one about, you know, Alcatraz, which isn't a US prison anymore, but used to be. And that was on an island, and still people managed to break out of it.
Is it not US anymore?
It's still US, but it's a museum.
Oh, I see. I was like...
I've never even been to San Francisco.
Bought Alcatraz from us? No.
That would be cool. Can you imagine remaking it into a house?
Oh, geez. The most haunted house in the world.
The most macabre house.
Oh, gosh.
Keep the chain.
Let's go ahead and kiss this episode to death. You saw it coming, didn't you? Yes. And look at that vocabulary. See you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Outsmart.
Outsmart.
Park.
Park.
Flat out.
Flat out.
Grim.
Grim.
Leverage.
Leverage.